Okay, welcome to Evidence-Based Audio Engineering and Education. This is number 134, and this is the 5 C's. First thing, last night I wanted to make a USB webcam further away. I wanted to extend the length of the cable it was attached to. And some of you guys know, I think Tim Gray told me about active USB cables, but it turned out that an active USB cable didn't work so well for this particular webcam. Actually, for a couple different ones I tried. And somebody else let me know about these Ethernet. So it's USB, then it goes to an Ethernet connector. I don't know if it's Ethernet or not, but it's RJ45. And then you can run your regular old Ethernet cable as long as you want. And the other end goes back to USB, and you plug that into your webcam or whatever. Unfortunately, on the fine print there, this one was USB 1 only, and so it didn't work with my webcam. I still would like to get this going. It looks like there's some other ones on Amazon I'm thinking about getting, but if you guys got any experience with these things, let me know. These other ones claim to be USB 2. They use they actually use like a little, it looks like there's a jack for putting power in, so that's giving me a lot more confidence on it. It's saying USB 2 extender 100 meters. So that sounds doable for me. So I'd like to try this. I ordered a big, long Ethernet cable just in case, because I had some problem with the Wi-Fi as well. But if you guys got ideas of how I can make this work better, let me know, because this has been a problem. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the reason I called this one the 5 C's is we talked about the principle of charity before. So many conversations on the internet and in real life, and especially when important science or political or medical topics come up, but just as much when it comes to audiophile stuff and claims about microphones or mic preamps or cables or whatever. There's so many times people just want to straw man the other person's position, or just get their point wrong, or assume the worst thing about them. And we've always heard about in debates, if you really have an honest debater, they will extend the principle of charity to you. They will interpret your position, your point, in the best way possible, the most upstanding way possible. You lots of times there's kind of an appeal to morality or appeal to emotion, and so they, a dishonest debater will try and make it like you're trying to be offensive or whatever. But to which I would say that you still don't have an argument just because somebody's offensive. But through the principle of charity, you get a lot more done because you're putting the opponent's best argument to light, and that means your position has to be all that much stronger, which is important, because don't you want the best position you possibly can have? And if you're wrong, it's better to find out you're wrong and maybe your opponent's right. And there you go. But today on Steve McRae was having a live video, and it's the typical verbose bloviation thing. And he was talking about the 5 C's, and he said context, clarity, charity, critical thinking, and cookies. Context is important. You might use the word for a certain color, and somebody will decide that you're saying that in order to be racist or something. I mean, it's crazy how people can go. So it's kind of like the creationist quote mine, where you I guess that one of the best examples is like when they always talk about how Darwin said, "Oh man, it would be really hard for the eye to evolve," and then they stop right there. They quote him. But the larger context is, if they kept going with that same sentence, Darwin said exactly how it would happen. So, clarity, understanding. I mean, it's part of everything else, right? You got to understand what it is that you're arguing against. Oh, sorry, I keep getting calls. You've got to clarify what exactly your opponent's position is. And a lot of times you hear in debates that you better be able to argue your opponent's position better than they can. That's how well you should know your opponent's position. So there's your clarity. We already talked about the principle of charity. Then, of course, there's critical thinking. Are you using logical fallacies in your argument, things like that. It's really important to understand your fallacious reasoning. But the last one, cookies, I don't know exactly what that is. Allegedly, there's a video that Steve McRae put out. He said, watch the trailer. It has all the 5 C's. But their videos, they have 5 minutes worth of stuff and like 5 hours worth of video. So I asked him if he could tell me which hour I should watch in order to find out what cookies are. But it's a cool thing to think about. Those 5 C's, at least 4 of those C's are really important to actually understanding things and getting to where you're trying to be, not just to win a debate, but to actually, when you're out there seeking the truth. Okay. Sound on Sound, we have on again, off again, but remember, SOS was the first magazine with the balls to put a Reaper article in, so we have a long relationship way back when. Not always the best one, but pretty good. They have a free ebook, and I've warned you guys about these free ebooks before, where it's like, learn the 3 secrets of mixing. Just give me your email address and send $99.99. And it turns out it's just some dumb crap. It's like, here's my EQ. If you have a kick drum, turn up 100 hertz. Ha ha ha. Like, oh boy. But from Sound on Sound, I expect better. And I'm looking at this thing. So it's called Recording Technology Basics and Beyond. And basically, you put your email address in, and it says, this free illustration-rich ebook is aimed primarily at newcomers to the subject and audio and music technology students, but will prove equally valuable to anyone struggling with the complexities of today's sophisticated recording technology. The purpose of this 170-page guide is to introduce readers to essential components of a modern recording system and to explain the recording process in an easy-to-follow way, demystifying the inevitable jargon, both as it crops up and with a comprehensive glossary. Nice. Remember, I had a glossary for a little while, and then my webmaster lost my page. Written in the accessible, no-nonsense style of the Sound on Sound team of authors and editors, recording technology beyond basics and beyond covers what to buy, studio setup, computers for audio interfaces, monitoring, acoustic treatments, mic techniques, wiring your studio, how digital audio works, understanding your DAW software, plugins, software instruments, recording audio, understanding MIDI, recording vocals, mixing, compressors, equalization, mastering, upgrading your system, and it's got the glossary. This sounds really good. This is probably really, really good. And so I signed up, and we'll see what we get. Actually, let's see if it showed up yet. Probably went to my spam. Goodreads. Sound on Sound right here. Okay, here we go. Basics and Beyond. PDF North America. Oh, it's also an ebook. What's the difference between an ebook and a PDF? I don't know. But let's see if it loads up. I'm having trouble loading this up. Okay, ebook North America. Or maybe it's really piles and piles of pictures, or everybody's grabbing it at once or something. Oh, here we go. So here's the ebook. I don't really know how to use ebooks. I see a Sweetwater ad. This is pretty. Maybe we'll do a real deep dive on this thing later on. Interesting choice of the Mackie Onyx to show here. But, this is a subject that we cover a lot. A lot of these subjects that they're talking about anyway, especially interfaces. And a lot of times when I'm discussing interfaces, I may be using Sound on Sound for a source. I do from time to time. I know I interact with them an awful lot, and we talk about these sort of things. This looks pretty cool. Like I say, we've had some problems with Sound on Sound over the years, but not many. Most of the time, these guys are really on it. This is really cool. I think for the really expensive price of free, you go grab this thing and see how you like it. So anyway, it's at Sound on Sound, and it's called Free Ebook Recording Technology Basics and Beyond. I'd go grab that right now if I were you. I'm sure there's something in there for everyone, or there should be. A straight jacket. Who is that? Look at my Discord. Why are you popping up, Discord? That's YouTube. Okay, hey YouTube. A straight jacket. Okay, I guess that means that YouTube is working. Okay. There we go. Now I can see the chats. I guess you guys can see the chats too. Okay. Next one. Now, the Neural DSP Quad Cortex. I've talked about this company a lot. They were on our vaporware watch a couple years ago, but turns out it wasn't vaporware, and they're still updating their stuff. It's actually pretty cool. It's not really a product for me. I just got a Helix for it. As old as that thing is, I still like it. So I'm running a Helix, but this is cool. A lot of people really love this. I have some issues with Neural DSP, but not really. I mean, there's good stuff. And, I was so glad that it turned out not to be vaporware, and it turned out to be really cool stuff. And, but somebody, I guess something happened. I may have missed it because, it seemed like everybody was pretty happy with them. Somebody at the gear page says, I keep reading here and there about the Quad Cortex fiasco, but I don't want to read through hundreds of pages of threads to figure out what that means. I would like someone who knows the skinny to boil it down. Okay, this would make sense, right? I don't want to read all this stuff because it's piles of bloviation, kind of like the Steve McRae thing. And the actual information you need is in some tiny little part. Can somebody please, give me the teal deer version, right? But, the rest of the sentence, for you guys that are not in a format where you can actually see it, I would like someone who knows the skinny to boil it down into haiku form and post it here. Thanks in advance for doing the work for me and for strictly adhering to the 575 syllable format. Now, this is awesome. And every once in a while, you get some character that really just throws a monkey wrench in everything. So we got one guy. Well, this guy really think he's got 4 haikus already to say. Some people love them. Others do not prefer them. I do not want one. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into the technical stuff. Even if it's in haiku form. Look, you guys, we can learn. You know how they always say there's so many different sources you can learn from? Some are better than others. It's like epistemology, right? Like Peter Boghossian says, if I need to know how wide my door is, I could use a tape measure or I could ask my dog. One of these is a better pathway to truth. But, even these haikus, I think we can learn something. So here's this next one. Power with no ground, noticeable background noise, 3 prongs or better. Sometimes it won't boot. Better check the SD card. QC is like that. Ouch. I have heard tell that updates come infrequently. I hope this helps you. I don't know about that updates come infrequently. They updated a lot more than I would have expected, and a hell of a lot more than Line 6 did on a lot of their projects. I'm glad that Helix is still getting updated. Okay, somebody else. It is feature poor. Did not meet minimum spec. Update coming soon. And they spelled the soon S-O-O-N. I guess is that to get into the right number of syllables. I'm not a poet. I'm sorry. I wonder what that is about. Did not meet minimum spec. Another guy from Captain Rex here. They thought they'd make bank by paying off YouTube wanks. So tone, no thanks. And that's one of the ones. Now, I don't know how much they may or may not have paid the usual shill suspects. I think I saw some videos where some of these guys were doing those, and I know, I'm almost positive that people were doing it about their plug-in stuff before too. I think people are getting more cynical, and they should be. I'm tired. What was this show? The first 100 whatever episodes was about how people just parrot what they hear. They just spout off nonsense they hear from somebody else. And that's why we have so many problems with guys thinking that, different types of wood make different sounding guitars or whatever, electric guitars or any other nonsense. Paying $5,000 a channel for a mic preamp that does the same thing as a $20 per channel one. But I think it's actually gotten better. I see more cynical people, and that's true. Just because you got YouTube guys pushing stuff, they may not help. Okay, so here comes somebody else on the other side though. Best device ever. Don't listen to complainers. They're not clever. Yeah, another guy. YouTube shills rejoice. Apologists play down faults. Not a dime from me. Somebody said, and he broke the haiku for him, so shame on him. But he said it is full of frustrated people who are bored, and their utmost satisfaction is to go around the forums and criticize it. Was not even a matter of life or death. Most QC owners are very happy, including me. And I'm not surprised. Lots of things just get tanked just because there's team players or haters or whatever. But of course somebody says that's not a haiku. And the same guy says, this thread is ridiculous, yet another created to discriminate against QC. Seriously, come on, guys. So this is going to be a flame war pretty soon, I'm sure. But somebody had to answer him. Araman's no fun. He does not love our haikus. Shame on Araman. Another somebody else. Discrimination. I do not think that word means what you think it does. Oh, wow. That's so awesome that actually fits in a haiku. Okay, so this is really specific, and I bet you this is actually an owner who's pretty happy with it. He says, there, it's okay. I'm sure it sounds really good, unless you need plate. Let's see. Slammed by fanboys who have not actually tried it. Size, pitch, block, amp, sims, and captures are killer. Worst part is takes months to buy. That's something. This thing has amp capture. We talked about that before. We could do a way deeper dive in it, but even if it's just an EQ function, that's actually pretty good. It's way better than you would think. So there's a lot of this. There's 9 pages of this thing. Somebody says QC supporters do not seem to know haiku. It is humorous. Let's just go to the very last one. It looks like there's a couple pages where people weren't actually writing in haiku. Let's see. The band kicked me out. QC froze at rehearsal. Now I write haiku. Now that's awesome. You can't beat that one, right? I like Fractal too. Helix wasn't bad either, but touchscreens are fun. It was pretty good. Haiku has returned. Some of us have realized the best way to write. Okay, I'm going to stop torturing you with this. But it looks like the quad cortex is still going. I don't know what the problem is. It seemed like these things were working to me. Okay, somebody else. Who is this? Somebody at the old GS forum. He wants to get a new studio piano. He says, hi, Al. I'm in the fortunate position of being able to spend up to £45,000 to outfit a studio with the new piano. We don't have an enormous space, and as such are maxed out around 7 foot 6 inches, so concert grands are unfortunately out of the question. $45,000 for a piano? Seriously? Look, I got a baby grand sitting in there that I so often just want to push out to the street, man. It's cool if you like a piano, if you want an acoustic piano, that's cool. But $45,000, can't you just buy like a $1,200 like really nice state-of-the-art keyboard that can do so way the hell much more than a piano, and save the rest of the money for something good? Or just buy an old piano, man. There's got to be tons sitting around. Like, holy crap, $45,000 for a piano? You guys are nuts. There's a piece of news here. See, from Dante, says Audinate's Dante PCIe R sound card has been discontinued and support for this product will cease on 17th December 2022. Our partners continue to produce a wide range of Dante-enabled interfaces and I/O products. For manufacturers, Audinate continues to provide a wide range of solutions for manufacturers to integrate Dante into new products. We've done how many shows on Dante, and I'm not really going to go too far into what this is, but interesting. So it really was weird. We use the Focusrite version, right? The Focusrite PCI card. And it's like there's different people in charge of different stuff. It's almost like the Dice 2 fiasco all over again. Like you have somebody with the vested interest in seeing your company fail in charge of writing your very important software, your drivers or whatever. Maybe this stuff is going to get better if Audinate's not selling their own card. But to be honest, I didn't know that they were even selling their own card in the first place. I really think that Dante is a dongle. I know you guys want to give me crap about that, but I really think that it's a dongle. The software only version is crippled so that you can't run it at low latencies. They say it's so that you can have more stability or reliability or whatever. But when we ran the full hardware one, it wasn't stable or reliable in any way. And it added so much latency, it was ridiculous. So yeah, I don't really have nice things to say about Dante, but this is interesting thing. Maybe this means that some of this stuff's going to get better. So we shall see about that. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, somebody's asking about, newer interfaces and stuff, and they're asking, how old is the Sapphire 6 now, Focusrite Sapphire 6? I find the Focusrite stuff confusing because they have had multiple generations of some products. I'm looking at the budget end of the Gen 3 Solo, but it's not even listed here. Is there another similar shootout for budget interfaces? I haven't been on Gearspace in ages. As far as I know, the Solo runs just as fast as anything else when you're talking about round-trip latency. And Ryan C. had said the best USB is the UFX Plus at roughly 4.646 at 64 samples, compared to Focusrite Sapphire 6 USB at 9.887 samples. Hey, Kyle. I love the wallet so far. So, where did I put it? I think it's in the car, actually, right now. That's awesome. So, if you guys need a wallet for actually riding, Kyle's making a chain wallet with snaps, so your stuff doesn't go flying all over the place. Whether you have an old Sapphire or a new one, it's still going to be the same drivers. I think they're Thesicon drivers. It still sounds weird to me to say it that way. Thesicon.de, whatever. Now, Focusrite has gone out of their way to retroactively make newer drivers for some of their older products. So I would think it's going to be pretty similar anyway. But the Solo is going to be the same as the 6. I just got a pair of 4i4s for home. So I wouldn't worry too much. The Solo should run the same. If the Solo's got enough inputs and outputs for you, then just grab that. But remember, it's not going to have the loopback the other ones are. But like we were talking about last show, the loopback, at least in the 4i4, is not as handy as you think it was going to be. Okay. Now, BrainWorks. They have something called BrainWorks BX Mastering Studio per month. Unlimited computer-guided mastering just got real. As far as I can tell, so this is some sort of artificial intelligence help you mastering thing. Not even like Hairball. I think it's more like Ozone. I'm not really sure. But they're saying it's a subscription plan. The BX Mastering Studio is a new BrainWorks mastering solution that runs standalone on your Mac. PC version is coming later. It introduces BX's new computer-guided algorithmic approach to high-end audio mastering and is not a plugin. So they have a Style Creator app, which will be replaced automatically in the subscription. So there's a lot of futureware here. Let's see. Auto analysis and fantastic sound of various included mastering styles. I don't know what a style is, but it's fully customizable by you. Check the manual, see how it works in retail. It looks like there's some YouTube videos you can go watch on these things. Got a BX meter plugin. Anyway, you buy a $250 per year plan or a monthly plan, or do a per song. So this is one of these AI mastering things, I think. I don't know. Anybody who's going to spend the time with me, I would hope that you're just going to pay the very small fee to my excellent professional mastering engineer and just do it that way. Okay, now there is a new Dan Worrell video up. You know, me and him, we go at it sometimes, but it's called Why Does It Null with Re-EQ, Harrison 32C channel strip. You remember a lot of the talking heads that everybody always, you know, parrots and quotes and like they're the gurus and stuff. We're saying that this Harrison mix bus thing did this amazing stuff, and if you didn't hear it, then you don't know what you're talking about. Then I did a video showing that they just about nulled unless you really pushed them to some crazy stuff. And then now it looks like there's a video where Dan's showing that it may null with Re-EQ, which is their stock RBJ EQ. So I'd go have a look at it. So Dan Worrell, it's called Why Does It Null? Harrison 32C channel strip. We could go through this on another time, and I'll go through point by point. I like Dan's videos. I've been the victim or target of some of Dan's videos before, but it just makes your products better. So hopefully actually this works for Harrison as well. Now, speak lots of times on this channel that to me music is about freedom. You know, most of the like punk rock bands and stuff that I grew up listening to would be illegal today. They would be victims of cancel culture and everything else. And I don't like when censors, you know, when I was little, it always seemed like it was gonna be this right wing thing, but actually what ended up happening was Tipper Gore on the left side was the one really nailing us for music. But, you know, you get it from both sides. I don't know if there's churches out there, you know, taking your records and burning them. Or actually, if they went and bought them and burned them, I wouldn't care. But this type of, you know, I'll just say it. The wokeism, SJWism, the anti-freedom people, the people who hate speech, who hate free expression, who insist that you dress, think, and act a certain way or else, they drive me nuts. And this time, this is really kind of a sad story. This is from NME, so take it for what it's worth. This magazine, it has become a completely useless college SJW nonsense journal at this point to me most of the time. But the headline is Deaf Mothers Win Legal Case Against Little Mix Concert Promoters. Even the way these articles are written are just ridiculous, but what it turns out to is that, as far as I can tell, and this is the thing about SJWs, they are so dishonest in the way they write. They change the meaning of words so that they can push a narrative that they want. What it seems like is that there were some moms who were deaf, and they took their kids to a concert, and they sued to have British Sign Language interpreters for the bands. And this is really hard. I don't even know how to say this. In one case, they did actually bring it for the headlining band, but they didn't have it for the opening acts. Now, they don't make this clear And I had to go and look on other sources to actually find this out. So again, these people are very dishonest in the way they promote their narratives. So what it makes it sound like in this article is that they needed somebody sign language so they could say, hey, who's the next band coming up, or if they're talking to give them sign language for what they're talking. No. Apparently the suit was because they were supposed to have a sign language guy signing the music. Like, what the hell is that, man? I mean, is this interpretive dance or what? Like, if this is really a real thing, I wanted to incorporate it. I wouldn't sue somebody. This is like suing somebody for saying you don't have a guitar player. I'm sorry. Like, if you don't have legs, okay, you may not be able to enter a high kick competition or something. I'm old, man. I'm going to be 50. I'm not going to be in the Olympics for BMX anymore. There are certain physical limitations, and I don't want to keep anybody out. I know. See, and here we go. This is why I said this goddamn 5 C's at the very beginning. Give me the principle of charity. I'm not a bad person trying to argue for killing little puppies or something, but how are you going to sign? Okay, you guys on Instagram, this is the one time you guys got an advantage. I ain't going to do it. I'm going to get in trouble. How do you sign kick drum? Every single time? What if a death metal drummer's playing and he's beating the crap out of the kick drum 5 billion things a second? Are you going to have an interpreter for every drum on the set and then every instrument out there? This is ridiculous. If this is really the way that most of the articles have written it out, this is just crazy. It's just entitled people. I'm sorry that you're deaf. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, think of how crippling that would be if I were. So I have plenty of empathy. But you don't get to bully people if that's really what this is about. Okay. The RIAA. I know it. I know. I said it. But anyway, they claim recorded music revenues climbed 27%, and vinyl sales skyrocketed 94% in the first half of 2021. Now, does recorded music revenues mean Spotify? Because if Spotify's taking all the money, it just doesn't matter what anybody's making. And remember, Spotify made way more money than the entire industry for the most of these years that it's been around. Paid subscriptions continued to be the strongest contributor to growth, comprising nearly 2/3 of total revenue, and more than 80 million paid subscriptions for the first time. 80 million, wow. Revenue rose from 5.6 to 7.1 billion at retail value. At wholesale value, revenues rose 25% from 3.7 billion in the first half of 2020 to 4.6 billion in the same period as 2021. So retail sales. Now, it's weird because you go to Guitar Center and they've got vinyl records there, right? I mean, is that what they're talking about? It says streaming accounted for 84% of all revenues, up 26% year over year to 5.9 billion. Now, is that part of that 7.1 billion, or is that the whole thing? Due largely to new licensing deals with companies like Facebook and digital fitness apps like Peloton. Paid streaming subscription revenue totaled 4.6 billion, also up 26%, and accounted for 78% of overall revenues. So I don't know if they're combining these or not. But like I say, if it's all going just to Spotify, it kind of doesn't matter to us, really. Hey, Reflex Point Pod. I'll be listening to your guys' stuff in a second here when I go to the skate park. It was so awesome. These guys actually had the English actor for Min May on their podcast. That is awesome. Finally, and again, give me the 5 C's. This is why I extend me the principle of charity, because I'm just speaking the truth here. Mattel launches Barbie music producer doll in a bid to inspire more girls to explore a future in the industry. Okay, that's awesome. But because these are SJWs, and this is Music Radar, who are some of the worst virtue signalers out there, that this isn't going to be about getting girls into something. This is going to be about a narrative of how they're being kept down and oppressed. Because I think this is awesome. Having a Barbie music producer doll, that's killer. I want more girls to want to do this. the truth about STEM and what we keep finding out about STEM, and I know you guys are going to scream and try and cancel my show over this, but so many times it's that girls self-select out. They just may not be interested in these subjects. Some are, but you can't force them to be interested in things that they don't want to be interested in. And, we've tried this in country over country to try this. Let me read. In a bid to shine a light on the importance of women's stake in the industry. Not bad. I'm not gonna complain about that. But here we go. As previously reported, women occupy less than 3% of the electronic music industry's production and technical roles. So Barbie is funding Girls Make Beats scholarships that are designed to deliver more equal representation. Okay. Kill me if you want. But I live debate anytime to anybody who thinks that girls, okay, let's say on the music end of it, you think girls have a disadvantage compared to guys as musicians? Seriously. How about as an Instagram influencer for the music business? How about as a YouTube guitar player? The very best male guitar player on YouTube. Compare him to some of the crappiest female guitar players. I know I'm going to get nailed for this one, but this is you guys got to stop lying about this crap because it doesn't help anybody. This is like when you tell some guy who's not good at soccer that he's really good and then he just gets stomped. No, have him learn how to do it. In my times, when we have had the very few girls who came through the programs. And look, you guys can have this systemic discrimination discussion, whatever. Maybe that's keeping them out of schools or whatever. But by the time they get out of the schools and they come to the studio, maybe that's the 3% they're talking about. Everything happens for them. A lot of them get scholarships that guys can't get. Every studio is tripping over themselves to get a girl engineer. I mean, I should just shut up. But anybody who thinks that women are at a disadvantage on that end of the industry, come talk to me. I'd love to see. It'd be funny as hell if I could get a DJ on here, even a female one. And if you think it's bad for guys in the engineering side of things, you got to take a look at the DJ, at the live DJ industry, and just take a look at what disadvantage women are at with the DJ stuff. And I know I just destroyed all my credibility because I said something that was unpopular, and I want to go with the fact-based, the reality-based interpretation of this stuff. But so be it. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. I'm gonna go ride over to the skate park and listen to Reflex Point Pod because that is my favorite Robotech podcast. So I'll see you guys later.